Good morning, thank you for coming. Please help yourself. Breakfast anonymously sponsored outside. And tomorrow morning, we're looking forward to Bar Mitzvah. Eliezer Kleinman. So looking forward to a big Bar Mitzvah tomorrow. So come all. Fascinating. The Torah talks about the Mei Meriva, the waters of strife. And according to the Ramban, this took place in the 40th year. And the Ramban also notes that all the other incidents, like about Korach and the Meraglim, took place about almost 38 years prior to that. So there seems to be a gap between the first 18 months, for 18 years, 18 months, almost 2 years, and then the 40th year. And what happened this time around is that the water stopped because Miriam died. She died a year before they actually entered the land of Israel. And that's when the water of contention began. So Reb Simcha Zissel asked an interesting question. What happened in the intervening 38 years? You have by the 18 months, they did these sins, the Meraglim, Korach, and then the 40th year, they did the waters of strife. But there's a 38-year gap. What happened during the 38 years? So you know what he says? He says that the answer is that nothing happened. They were good boys. They actually did everything right. There's a 38. So what happened that in the first 18 months, they did all these sins? In fact, the Mishnah of it said they tested God 10 times. 9 of them were in these 18 months, and 1 in this parsha dealing with the Mei Meriva. So why did they were such good, there's a Dvar Torah, they were known as a knowledge of generation of knowledge. Why did they stumble this at the beginning and end? They shouldn't have stumbled even the first 18 months if they're such good people. So he says, you know what Reb Simcha Zissel Brady says? He says that the reason being is that there was a period of transition going on. When they came out of Egypt, it was a period of transition. So therefore, when the period of transition, there was turmoil. And when they're about to enter Yisrael, there's also a change of life. Here they were dependent on the man, they had a holy existence, and all of a sudden they got to work for a living. They got to go 9 to 5 for a job. It's a transition. So he says there's a danger, spiritual danger. When somebody goes through transition, it could even be marriage, it could be moving, whatever it might be. That's when the dangers are about. Is when things are steady, like during the 38 years, that was smooth sailing for them. But when the transition takes place is when you're most sustainable to danger. And that's why Reb Simcha Zissel says we have to be very careful at time to transition. That's when spiritually things can happen. When things are going at a normal pace, you're less at risk. And that's the lesson that we learned from the Bnei Yisrael in the 40 years. The first 18 months, the last year they were in turmoil, the rest of the time was smooth sailing. But periods of transition we've got to look out for. Have a wonderful day.